Check, check. Ready. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Parks and Recreation Commission regular meeting agenda for May 9th, 2024, 7 p.m. We are live. At this time, can we get a roll call? We'll call to order. Flag salute. Commissioner Willis, please lead us in flag salute.
Of course. Raise the flag with the weapon for your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the republic.
Thank you for that. And now we can do a roll call.
Chair Flores.
Present.
Vice Chair Reese. Present. Secretary Palacio.
Present.
Meeting compensation disclosure. Pursuant to Government Code Section 549523, compensation for monthly attendance by the Parks and Recreation Commissioners is $75 per monthly meeting. Report on posting. I, Ana Medina, Parks and Recreation Senior Secretary, certify that a true and correct copy of the foregoing meeting agenda was properly posted on May 2nd, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. as required by law.
Thank you.
Chair Flores, before you move on in the agenda, something real quick. Something new for the Parks and Recreation Commission. This is our first meeting where we are going to be videotaped. The camera you see is in the back of the room. It will hold any of the items that we're going to show on the screen or anything like that during regular meetings. It will also have the timer on it, thus for anything like public comment or comments pertaining to an item, and it will have the 3 minutes set for it so that we can keep track of everything just like in a regular council meeting. Just wanted to make sure you knew it's new to us, first time for that. Please give Anna all the time she needs to make sure everything's right first, because it's first time for everyone. Okay?
Thank you very much. Do we agree?
Yes.
Okay, we'll report on posting. We did. All right, so at this time, we'll open up to public comment. We'll start with the chamber.
All right, so just some general statements here, Mr. Costney. So I'm not happy, folks. I'm not happy that I'm here having to speak.
Can you state your name first for the record?
Yes, Mario Dominguez Jr., resident of Southgate. All right, so I'm not happy that I'm here having to speak to you folks. As you know, we lost our Zoom system, and you can thank that old monkey of ours, the mayor. That was his bright idea of doing away with the Zoom system. And what I would really like to be is at home, playing with my toys, listening to you all on my tablet and participating from home. But sadly, they're taking us so far off course from where we should be with our council meetings. And let's do a review of how we got here. First, they killed the 5-minute public comment and took it to 3. That's strike one. 2, they did away with that beautiful Granicus deal that Christopher Ryan put together for us last year, where we had 4 cameras in here as opposed to the 2 that we're going to end up having, and it would have been operated from a remote operator, so the city clerk wouldn't have to bother with having to fuss with having to deal with the cameras. So that's strike 2. And in strike 3, what does the mayor come up with that brain pitch to do away with the Zoom system? And now all we have is a camera where we're able to see what's going on in here, but we can't call in remotely. Now, I've been participating in these Metro Zoom board meetings, and the thing that I've noticed is that they have a call-in feature, but they don't have Zoom. So you can call in, and you go to their website, you're able to watch it on their website, and there's a number there, you call in, type in the access code, and hit pound 2 to speak. And I put this to our mayor, and he flat out rejected it. He rejected it because he said, I don't want scumbag Mussolini or chicken shit bucket calling in with multiple phones, disguising their voices, and making a mockery of our system. And I tried chasing this after with Barone, and Barone, he's such a numbers guy. He wants to see how we go with the camera system before he makes a call on that. The one person that I spoke with that was open to having a calling feature is Al Rios, and he's not satisfied with our meetings and how they've been turning out this year. He said, "Oh, it's just so sad. There's hardly everyone there, and you can't turn to the Zoom." So I ask you, please speak with your council members so we can get a call in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. If there are no more public comments, we'll close that. We'll close public comments at this time. Okay, we're on to open sessions now.
No written comments.
What?
Oh, no written comments.
The open sessions, review of third quarter recreational program fiscal year 23-24.
Recreation Supervisor Nikki.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I will be covering our third quarter programming. This is going to cover the months January through March. Starting off with our aquatics division, the swim stadium was closed most of December through January due to the draining of the pool, where the contractors came in and performed a variety of renovations, including replacing the pool liner, pool tiles, and lane anchors. That was posted on social media, and everyone was able to see that. Moving along, they hosted the South Central Swim League's Winter Championships. It was a 2-day meet that brought in 6 local teams with over 1,000 participants and spectators at the swim stadium. Moving over to our fitness division, in January, they hosted their annual open house event on January 13th. This is an event where the community has the opportunity to come into the sports center and see everything that they have to offer. They were able to witness our group exercise classes. We promoted upcoming city events and our personal training programs. People were able to get personal assessments, try out some of the equipment, utilize the basketball court with some of the competitions that we hosted. Each person that came in, they're given like a passport type card where they had to complete each station. And once they were able to check off 5 items from their passport card, they were able to submit that for free lunch. So the lunch that day was Waba Grill, and everyone enjoyed the event. Moving on to youth sports. Youth sports hosted their spring baseball camp that was held during LAUSD's spring break, so March 25th through 29th. It was a 1-week program. We had over 10 kids registered. They came in daily from 9 to 12 and covered everything baseball. So we're talking hitting, fielding, base running, sliding. Each camper that registered got a certificate. They got a camp shirt and a sack pack. Moving along to our contract and youth classes, dance classes, as you guys know, they fill up every quarter. Anything from our folklorico, ballet, jazz, tap, all of that. And we always host our recitals to end out each quarter. So those recitals were held on March 5th and 6th. We're able to accommodate 500 spectators per show. Due to the overwhelming amount of people that want to attend the shows and due to our high registration, next time around we will be offering 3 dates, just so that we're able to accommodate more people. Our Little Chefs class, which is a 5-week program that is also hosted by our internal staff. It's held over at the Senior Center. Kids are taught pretty much kitchen etiquette. They create their own cookbook with the recipes that they'll be creating throughout the class. And some of the recipes they made were meatball sandwiches. They created their own chicken nuggets from scratch. Nutella French toast and chicken pot pies were some of the items that they were able to cook. With special events, our biggest event during this time is Easterfest. Easterfest originally opened with 200 spots for registration, but due to the overwhelming amount of people, again, who wanted to register, we did up the registration to 250 people, or 250 children, and then obviously their parents and family members were able to attend the event with them. Easterfest took place on March 23rd. As you guys are well aware, it did end up raining that day, so we had to completely change from one day to the next. We had customized balloons that were set up for the golf course, that it was going to be like a grand entrance. Everything was scheduled around the golf course, but we had to pivot the day before, and we ended up moving the event indoors into the Southgate Sports Center. And the event was still well attended. Everyone attended. We were able to reconfigure everything. And it ended up being a pretty spectacular event. If you guys were also able to see that recap video on social media, Everyone loved the way it was set up, especially considering the quick turnaround that staff had to do. Moving along to our cultural arts division, our cultural arts division did collaborate with the Southgate Art Association for our family art night, and they were able to have 9 different art stations that were run, and a group from the music center, we received a grant from them to have a performance come out, so they had Folclórico de Brazil as our live show. And that is it.
Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner Commissioner Reese, do you have any comments?
I do. Is the pickleball still happening, the glow in the dark, or was that just a limited event? And the other, I have a couple other questions.
Okay. So the pickleball, the intent of the pickleball was, it was preset to be an Azalea event, being the glow in the dark pickleball tournament. And we had open play pickleball just to kind of get everyone ready for that event. So it was only running the weeks prior to the glow in the dark pickleball. But we are looking to possibly offer some summer, like the outdoor summer courts. We are looking to transition some of those temporarily into pickleball courts and opening back up for a free play. But that has not been set yet.
Okay, good to know. I never even heard of it, and suddenly a lot of folks I know are talking about it. So
Yeah, so at the Glow in the Dark event, we actually did have a few of the participants, they did come up to staff and express their interest in maintaining a pickleball program, so it is something that we're looking at right now.
yeah, that's exciting. I'll let people know for sure. And for the senior center activities, who runs it? Do you guys accept volunteers to help out? I know that with the Kiwanis I'm involved with, we go to a couple of the senior centers around the city, so I'm curious to see if there would be any possibility to maybe host a bingo night or something like that.
Yeah, so our coordinator at the senior center is Wendy Pineda. She's been there, I've been here 8 years. She's been here those whole 8 years, and prior to that, I'm not sure her exact number, but she is a coordinator who is responsible for the senior center. In my experience, we've never had anyone interested in volunteering, but of course, we can accommodate any types of volunteers that want to come in. We do already have a pre-existing bingo day and time, so maybe that's something that, we can collaborate on, or.
That's good to know. I'll take it back to the Kiwanis.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good volunteer opportunity. And then for some of the future or the future Sela Cultural Arts Center, is there any involvement you all have with those folks, or any planned involvement?
With the Sailor Cultural Arts Center, we have been part of their overall planning at times. They do have outside consultants and the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy planning the actual building of the process. They have not, as of yet, gotten into program planning at all, but we have met with them on several occasions, none lately, but I know the city manager is interested in getting updates from them coming soon, so maybe we can report back on that.
That would be great, because that's something definitely I feel like everybody around here is looking forward to. So, I only see it as a benefit in any way. And yeah, those are all my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job.
Thank you. Secretary Pyle?
Yeah, just wanted to ask, what, I know you said there was about 1,000 people at the swim stadium over the 2 days, right? What's the capacity of the stadium? Just out of curiosity. 1,000 people sounds like a lot. I know that was divided between those days, but approximately, do you guys know what?
And I think it's a revolving, I think that's a total, it's not everyone there at one time.
I believe that the seating capacity in the bleachers is 600, but we also, as we have events, a lot of the swim teams actually set up tents outside on the deck. And so most of the teams hang out on the deck, parents hanging out in the stands, and then you have all the swimmers in the pool. So you get a variety of different people throughout the day that swim through there. When the younger ones go in the morning, they're all done, the kids leave, the next group of parents roll in, So it changes throughout the day on that, but I'm pretty sure 600 is the seating capacity.
So, and how often do these meets take place? Is it like a season, or is it?
And there is, well, actually our swim meets take place throughout the year, usually March through October, different time frames. Not as many, we end up with both school meets, swim team meets, and college meets at different times. So and I can't remember which college district it is, but we hold the championships for the SCAC College District for their swim meets here at the pool. We're rather large. There's not too many indoor Olympic-sized pools and ones that have a good 25-meter course. So, 25-yard course. So we run what's called short course aquatics, and a lot of those come here.
Yeah, I had no idea that you hosted college swimming, so that's interesting. Is that open to the public, or is it just limited to the colleges themselves?
Well, obviously the participation in the meet itself is colleges only. The public can't come view the meets. And often they get good crowds there because there are many different colleges vying for their national or their championship of their league. So they do come.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, I'd like to check some of those out sometime. Is there like a notice that goes out to the community saying we're hosting these meets, or?
Most of those, as we note, is they are rentals to us. The colleges call us, or the overall, what would be like a Pac-12 would call us as the organization so that they can run a swim meet. And so they run this thing, they put out their own publicity for it. We are more or less the host site of it. So they put out that. We don't usually go about advertising those programs for them because they have their own special things. But I'm sure we could, if you're interested in them, we can make sure we notify our pool staff that if they get the next college meet in, that we can tell you guys.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, especially because it's a good opportunity for some of the swimmers in the community to kind of get a taste of what collegiate swimming looks like. So I think that would be a good idea. Another thing I just wanted to touch on, kind of on the senior center. I know that in my work, a lot of the seniors that I come across are not very tech savvy. So regarding, I know that we have social media that goes out to a lot of the regular residents, right? But have you encountered that kind of challenge with some of the seniors, that they don't have access to social media and how they find out about events?
Well, with my short time with the senior center, you are correct. They're probably not the most technically savvy. But we do have some plans to try to improve that. So we're going to put up like a display in our senior lobby that's going to pretty much display all of like the upcoming programming and things like that. So I think in that essence, that's where we can begin, maybe like introducing and utilizing QR codes, kind of get them informed and kind of up to speed. Most of them do have cell phones. I think it's more about learning how to actually operate them.
Sure.
So maybe it's something that we can look into, hosting like workshops or something of that sort, because it is important since everything is getting moved,
Right.
Online and things like that. But as far as any programming currently, no. But we are looking into it, yes.
Yeah, I think that would be good to maybe explore, right? Just to increase maybe participation from the community and at the same time, give them another way of finding out what's going on. So I think that would be good.
I will also say they do still like receiving stuff in the mail, and they do still like the flyers and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be effective. And some people are always used to that kind of stuff. But, as you said, things are moving in that direction. And I know that it definitely is a good thing to kind of help them along the way, right? I know that I can speak for my parents. They kind of have those challenges as well. And so, I think that would be good. And regarding the culture center that my colleague mentioned,
in addition to the cultural center and anything else that's going around or going on around that, what kind of involvement and input do we have as a city, basically? I know that it's kind of multiple agencies that are involved.
While this is not a report on the overall cultural center, we do get, RMC has brought out their design plans to many of the different events in the city and during the year, at not only our events, but in all the different cities around. They have a mock-up of what the cultural center will look like. And so they have been passing out that information for a long time. They have a preliminary plan of what it will look like. Most of that is online right now. I think you have to go to the RMC .gov, RMC.org to look up the plans, but they do have them already.
And is that something that falls under, for example, the park and rec like master plan, or is that something completely just separate?
The Sailor Cultural Arts Center is totally separate from the city of Southgate. It is being built through funding by the state of California, through the lead agency, it's the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy. It just happens to be located on the Imperial Highway right next to Hollydale Regional Park. And so, of course, they want to partner with us and talk about the programming and get our input, but it is totally separate from the city.
Okay. And what kind of partnerships do they pursue, or do they bring up in terms of involving the city?
They haven't brought up any specific partnerships so far.
I think that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you, sir. So just for me, again, good job with the first quarter. I appreciate all that you guys do. I guess piggybacking on the social media part of it, with the like baseball camps, stuff like that, only 10 kids registering. What was your expectation?
I think the goal that was set was
20. Okay. I think one of the biggest things, and I think we were talking to Josh over the weekend about it, was the information that goes out. Most of it's just in the Southgate pamphlet that goes out, the book that goes out, and but we have to extend that out to more people. I'd like to help in any way I can. I think you have all of our emails. Maybe you can send us emails. We can forward that stuff. I could put out my social media pages. I've extended my olive branch to accept the park into my Facebook page that has 13,000 members. Most are all from Southgate, so if we can try to partner up with that and put more stuff on there. Most people that put stuff on my page are like Gil, Josh, and that's how a lot of things get pushed through that happen on Southgate through that page. After the meeting, I can share that page with you, and maybe we can try to see what we can do. But yeah, I definitely like to extend more information and not only have it on the social media, because as we know, not everybody's on social media, not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody's on Instagram. I only have Facebook because of that one page. Everything else I don't even touch. But there's Twitter. I mean, all these other things are X, I guess they call it now. But there's different platforms. But aside from that, we still have the snail mail that we should try to use and get that information out there. I don't know if only the publicity that you put is owning the sports center, so you have to go to the sports center to be able to know about these things. So not everybody can find a parking to go to the sports center.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because in addition to our social media and our brochure, we do actually have 24 by 36 posters up at all of our facilities. We are also very traditional in our approach as well. I feel like you have to have the happy medium of both, right? So we do actually send staff out on foot throughout the park and just talk to people, good. Just kind of see how their day's going. They did have promotional booths where we did set up outside of the sports center. I believe one time we did set up between the small quad just to try to get all of those baseball participants. So there is more outreach that is going on, but yes, we can always be better.
Well, it still seems like we're centralizing just to the park. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, if you're at the park and you got a way to get to the park, then okay, you can know about this. But if I live on that side of Southgate, and I don't travel to the park that much, how do I get people over there to the park to
Right.
know about these programs? Or, are you sending stuff to the schools, or the schools able to put this out there to their children and let, the schools on that side know what's going on this side of the park? So I grew up on this side of Southgate, so it was often hard for me to, unless I knew, I happened to have my grandmother live across the street from the park, so I often knew what was going on at the park, but had I not had that privilege, I wouldn't know what was going on at Southgate Park.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest problem that we can share. And I think, like I said, if we can somehow partner with organizations and other places, I know there's people like Pack and Ship, for example, friends of mine, we can put stuff there, and constant foot traffic is going into Pack and Ship. Maybe there's things that can be put on their windows or in their lobby or something where information can be shared about Southgate. You have a lot of these places where people, hops and barley, they're often socializing.
Right.
Something could be put there that puts it, hey, that's interesting. Maybe my kids would like to do that. Or, again, pickleball, right? A sport where people who are drinking and hey, let's go do this. So, those are the kind of things that I'm just thinking about where even myself as somebody over 50 would be interested in doing, but how do I know about these things, So, and then, like I said, one of the big things, like I said, sharing with us the information. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we don't go through the magazine as much as we should. But throwing out fire, hey, this is coming up. Join us or something like that, and we can try to put that flyer post to our pages or something like that. Because I think we all have media that we can share that kind of information with. I don't have anything else past that. Thank you. Do we have a motion to receive and file?
A motion.
This is Commissioner Lewis, a second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair, before we move on, I'm noting one issue. We don't have an approval of the minutes here. Right?
They're on the,
There are April minutes. Right here.
yeah, they're included in the packet.
So, with
That's
that,
it.
we can walk on, if the commission is good with that, if you guys approve, we can walk on the approval of the minutes. It's in all of your packets.
Yes.
It was with the posting, so if we can, if you're good with that, someone can look at that and, note to approve them.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the minutes from April 11th?
Before that, on the second item, there's just a small typo. Second, line director's report. That's pretty much it. Everything else looked really good. Second line on the second item, director's report. Towards the end of this one, of the line. Annual Parks Facility Maintenance Report. It says Director Steve Casa said he will review it at the directors.
Change.
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Cosley. We'll move on to open session item number 2, review of the third quarter report, grounds and facility maintenance, fiscal year 23-24.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'll take an opportunity here to summarize the report for third quarter of fiscal year 23-24. We continue to host monthly food giveaways at Circle Park and Holliday Regional Park. 30 azaleas were planted inside the azalea garden adjacent to the senior center. 30 trees were planted by the Tree People organization at Southgate Park. and some of the varieties planted were pine, camphor, and ash. Staff are working on replacing ground cover adjacent to the entry here by City Hall. They planted approximately 20 flats of gazanias, and we're looking to plant more over the coming months as we are able to procure them. The North Playground at Southgate Park was closed for 3 weeks to replace the rubberized surfacing, and new parts for the playground were replaced as well. The infield of Diamond 3 at Southgate Park was resodded with 6,500 square feet of hybrid Bermuda grass, and the pitching mound was replaced as well. Park facility maintenance. Staff set up and hosted a variety of Azalea festivals, events. Azalea Festival events. Staff continue to do a third daily inspection and cleaning of the outdoor restrooms in the late afternoon. And we continue to use the electrostatic disinfecting equipment and both indoor and outdoor restrooms. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate that. Vice Chair Reese, do you have any questions?
No, just that I'm really happy that the playground was updated recently. It looks really good. I was able to take my baby, and despite being 9 months and me not following the signage, she had a lot of fun on the slides and swings. So everything looks really good, and the Earth Day events were really well too. It was really nice. I was part of the trash picking group along with some of my Kiwani friends, and I mean the park looked pretty good. We didn't really have much to have to pick up, but it was really nice seeing the community being involved. It did seem like there weren't as many folks as other years, but it was still really great to see everybody who came, and especially seeing, the trees getting planted and hearing from some of the council members who participated in that, because I've always advocated, especially with tree people, having the community involved and taking that kind of ownership. I think it's a lifelong feeling we have, seeing the trees grow along with us as we get older, and every time you drive by, you just never forget the tree, especially when they have you name it. So, it's just really nice, and thanks to the department for all their work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Secretary Palaio? Just, looks good out there. I think it's a good job, and keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glenn, as always, thank you so much. I think we went through a lot last meeting, so I don't have too much out there this time, but just thank you. Again, these events that happen, I really appreciate the fact that the girls people clean up so fast. Looks like nothing happened, so really appreciate that. You got that out.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we have a motion to receive and file? Second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, item number 3, annual review of concessions agreement.
Yes, good evening, Commission. This is an annual report that we do where we look at all of our different concession agreements within the Parks and Recreation Department. We have several of them, so we'd like to keep a track of them and keep the Commission up to date on what we do. Your list is on the second page of the report, and we have everything from our Gold Soccer Center, batting cage operations, all the way down to our cell tower operations. At present, the staff is very keen on keeping the contracts we have. We've had no real major problems with them across the board. As you know, we do have a few that will go into requests for new contracts coming up here. That's the batting cage operation. That will be. We're working on an extension with our Fiesta de Carnival, which is our carnival provider for both the Azalea Festival and 4th of July. And then we are also working on a extension for the snack bar in the back of the Sports Center and the Farmers Market. All of those are coming up. We're not recommending any changes to any of them at this time. We do have an RFP out already for the farmer's market. And for the Azalea Carnivals, we're working with the contractor to see if we're going to be able to hold pricing or come to an agreement on pricing so that we may just continue that. And so the only big change in all of these would be the batting cage operation. As I noted in the report, usually we do those in 3-year increments, but the operators of SoFi, the new ones there, came to me and said, hey, we want to redo a lot of the batting cage. It's getting old. It's been there a little while, not too old, but those machines wear out after throwing so many softballs, baseballs, and other things in it that they're going to have to fix a lot of them, replace some of them, do some nets. It all costs a lot now. And so they kind of want to make it to a 5-year agreement so they can pay off the costs that they're putting into it. So those are what we currently have. I'll take any questions about any of our operations.
You actually jumped on my question about the batting cages. I know that they've had been problems. I mean, ever since I can remember using them, I've had problems, with money getting stuck or not getting the balls. But are they planning on doing just piecemeal upgrading, or is it an overall haul?
They have started already an overall maintenance of the whole thing. So
they're replacing the whole thing, or are they?
No, they won't
doing
replace
piece
the
by
whole
piece?
thing. That would be millions of dollars. But they're out having someone fix all the machines. I mean, go through and do renovations on all the machines, all the netting, all the pay things. They're working on a new system for paying. It may not be cash anymore. It may all be credit or Bluetooth or other methods like that. They were telling me they're doing some of that. So they've got different things in the plans of where they're going with it. But the reason they needed the extra time was they're going to put some money in.
See. And for the SoFi, so they're different contracts then. The batting cages is its own deal, and then the goals or former goals is it's
Well,
separate deal?
Goals itself, we started off as Goals Soccer Centers, was sold to the SoFi group. There are 3 stadiums here, which are one here, one in Rancho Cucamonga, and one in Pomona. We mixed it in with the 2 soccer stadiums they have in New York to form the overall SoFi soccer group. They're planning on expanding that to other things, but they changed. The first thing they did is once they bought it, got it all together, is they changed names.
I see.
So now it's known as SoFi Soccer Center.
And you mentioned some of the upgrades that they're trying to do. Will we be getting any specific upgrades on that, or is it just what having to do with the batting cages? Because I know they were trying to go for an alcoholic license, but that goes through planning, right? So we don't necessarily hear about that here.
Right, they have contacted me and told me that they would be going back to the planning commission looking for a permit to do and have sales of alcohol at the center. We have put that before the planning commission and before council. The staff here supports the idea. We think it's proper for the business that it is and for the fact that people, residents in the city, have managed to have drinks anyways over there, and it's much nicer to keep it controlled by a group than it is to just be going into the trunk of a car or something like that.
Yeah. That was going to be my question, because I know that there's already problems with folks in the parking lot. So would they be bringing, or do you know if they would be bringing more added security for that? And
Yes, if they got the contract to do permits, they would be required certain security things that go with it. And that would help alleviate all that. We won't change everything. We all know that some things will never go away. But
Yeah, they have a pretty intense
it
facial
would help
recognition.
help alleviate, we believe it would help alleviate some of that, because the patrons would no longer think that they had to bring their own if it's available at the site. And then their trained bartenders could determine who's had enough and who hasn't.
So they would be hiring specific
Yes.
people, because I know that they hire a lot of youth as well, so.
Right, they would be required as part of their liquor license if they're going to sell alcohol to have licensed staff.
A particular, quar- I don't want to say quarantined area, but like a, limited access. area.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that would work in there as a overall business. They are a private business. So5 is what we call a public-private partnership. We work with them, have a rental, basically agreement of a lease of land, but we don't control any of their actual operating procedures. So they would work that out with the permitting office for the alcohol use.
And it's my understanding that they do give access to their facilities to some of the city programs, right?
Oh, yes. Part of our agreement with So5, and I'm still used to calling them goals, we have approximately 77 hours of overall use at the facility on a weekly basis. We use it, I think it's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have open play soccer that is free to our residents. We allow a certain amount in at each session. They give us the field free. We have weekend hours, we have weekday hours, we have some primetime night hours that are available. We usually share those with our AYSO group so they can do trainings with them. And then sometimes they've done their own special events there. But the sports staff oversees many of those, and we don't get all of them used. In fact, some of our schools even use a few of them here and there. But we don't perfectly schedule all 77 hours, but we do use a number of them.
Well, that's great to know. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Commissioner Foil?
Yeah, so just to kind of touch on the batting cages, have there been any complaints or anything regarding that from people?
I have not received any lately. Nikki, have you guys? No. I haven't received any. I know that some of the cages go down every once in a while, but I have not. Most of the complaints, because it's signed up over in the area, they go over to So5 and talk to them.
They're pretty accommodating. Whenever there's trouble, they just move you or give you money.
And they also provide the batting cages to maybe the little league teams that are part of the.
Yes, we actually, that's part of our agreement too, is there's two separate agreements. We get a certain amount of soccer hours, but also with the batting cages, we get a certain amount of use for those too. We share those uses with our youth leagues or our youth classes so they can use the batting cages too.
And so they're asking for a 5-year extension, is what you're saying, instead of a 3. What is the process that the park goes through to determine that originally? Right? I mean, if it was 3 years originally, why wasn't it 5 years when it was first presented?
Actually, I believe the first contracts for the batting cages included building the batting cages, so there were time frames that they needed to secure to pay for building them back. They paid for the building of them themselves. But the 3-year was just at the time of when we got full operation of the batting cages, that was just the determined time, mostly by our legal staff who just like to keep up 3-year setups into almost all of their concession agreements. But this time they've asked for 5.
I mean, I guess if they're doing a good job, 5 years might be okay. I just think that a shorter period allows us to have a little more say in what happens. And, you know, as you mentioned, it's sort of a landlord-tenant relationship where they're a private business, but we still have a little say over what can and can't go on.
So I don't know.
Let me explain something though first. Batting cage is totally separate from goals. Goals is a lease agreement for the land underneath goals. They own all of the buildings, all the soccer fields and all that. The batting cages, which they built, belong to the city of Southgate. They operate them for them, so they are a contractor to us. So it's different. There's not a, they pay us to do it. We get a certain amount of money for each year that they use the batting cages. And so we are working on that. But for them to do it and to accept a 3-year lease, if they can't pay back their money that they put into it, they're not going to want to sign a 3-year lease.
Right.
Because they need something there to kind of guarantee they're going to recoup their funding.
So any repairs or any maintenance that comes up with the batting cages, who's covering the cost for that right now?
Currently, SO5 covers the cost unless it's an extraordinary cost. If there's something like, at one point, we had some really bad netting for whatever reason. It was a significant cost to replace the netting. We came to agreement, which we're allowed to do as part of the contract, that said, hey, if you fix the netting, we want your payment for this year will only be X and not the full amount. So we contribute to it and we share the costs.
All right, and, I guess, touching on the alcohol,
On the what?
the alcohol license where, with now switching over to the actual, goals, the soccer fields. What, if and when they get the license to serve alcohol, for example, is that an opportunity for the Parks and Rec to come back to the table and include maybe some provisions within the agreement with them?
No, Parks and Rec is not involved in that agreement at all. That agreement goes straight through the Planning Commission and through our Community Development Department business licenses. So it's the same agreement any bar on the street, like Hops and Barley, as the chair had mentioned before. That agreement goes across the board. They get a permit to sell alcohol, and all of those conditional uses are put into that thing. So those don't involve us at all.
So then the planning commission and whoever issues the business license would have that opportunity to include any provisions, be it extra security or, as my colleague mentioned, a designated area for them to serve. Would that be something that would work with them?
Yeah, that's not it. That's not on our side. That would be within the permit process.
Because I've seen lots of beer bottles and cans throughout the parking lot, and I know that it's impossible to control 100% of it. I just think that because we know that, and it's possible to plan ahead of time to sort of control for a bit, I guess, that's kind of where I'm getting at. Mainly because, it's a family environment, and there's kids and families attending. It's okay to have few alcoholic drinks, but sometimes we don't mix with people competitive, and that can go somewhere else. So that's the reasoning for my question. I hope that they work it out and it's able to come, and that would be something else to add to the goals. The previous operator of the cafe or snack bar at Goals, did they have an alcohol license?
No, no one has. Since
So this is
inception,
never
we've never had one there. But Goals does have it at all of their other facilities.
Okay.
We're the only one without one.
Can I with them? Alright, so I'll reach out to them and get your experience, because it's really interesting what their vision is, and they, like Mr. Costa said, they have other facilities local here, and they really have a plan, a really good plan.
That's good, yeah. Well, I'd like to do that for sure. I'd like to meet them and see what they want to do here at the city. Yeah, I think that's pretty much, so regarding the farmer's market, for example, there's you're working on an extension and possible request for a quote. Is that what's happening with that?
We've actually put that out already It went out today, Anna, for a request for quote for the farmer's market.
And how's that coming along? Any takers?
Well, we won't know for at least 30 days. You put out the request for quote, it gives all the operating instructions, and then at a certain point, they have to turn in their bid to the city clerk's office.
Sure. Okay. I think that pretty much does it for me regarding this.
Thank you, sir. Just for me, and piggybacking on the farmer's market, is there any thoughts of going to Saturday? Having Saturday farmer markets as well?
You will find that every farmer's market in the area has already got a designated spot for Saturdays, and they've told us there's no capacity. There's no way they're going to. Our group would not come to us on Saturday. They have too big of a farmer's market somewhere else. So throughout all the years we've done it, we've asked the question. They've all told us, no, you're not getting Saturdays.
And there's another thing about that. A lot of markets, you go out of Southgate and you'll see, like I live in Rancho Cucamonga, and you see all these markets, and you go in and you look at it, it's not a California certified farmer's market. It's a for-profit. There are two basically different types of markets. You have your nonprofit and you have your for-profit. The one we work with is a nonprofit, and it offers EBT, those sorts of things. And that's really kind of, you go to Huntington Park, it's the same market as what we have here in Southgate, as what is in Long Beach. It's really based on what the community needs are.
Just thinking for myself, like, since I work Monday through Friday, I don't have an opportunity to enjoy the farmer's market, but I'll go to Downey because Downey has a farmer's market on Saturday. See if there's something I can pick up there. So just a thought.
Skip with your news, Kevin, and we'll get it for you.
Okay, do we have a motion to receive and file?
No motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll close that. Thank you. Item number 4, approval of proposed meeting schedule for fiscal year 24-25.
Once again, commissioners, this is an annual part of our Parks and Recreation Commission as we set the schedule of meetings and the activities or reports that you want to see at it. We do have later on a work schedule of other things that we may add to this, but these are our basic regular scheduled items that come up at all of our meetings, right? This does not preclude the commission from adding anything to it, either at this time or during the year. We always have that open, but we always want to make sure that we kind of split up our reports so that you know where we're going ahead of time. It helps us plan so that we're not sitting there just, asking you guys for reports. We know each meeting, the base reports we're going to give you, and then as you guys tell us, hey, we want to hear more about X, Y, Z, we can add those into different time frames on the thing. So at this time, you're going to get our standard 8-meeting setup that we usually do. This is how we've done it for probably the past 12 years, Anna. Right about there is an 8-meeting setup because as a Parks and Recreation Department, we have other things going on a lot of times during the year. Halloween takes a lot of work from us. The January meetings were a little hard to pull off for us because the parks are closed for 2 weeks or the week and a half between Christmas and New Year's. And reports are due before time. It's just not a feasible time to do it. So we have been steady on the 8-week process, and we're going to continue with that. That's the plan right now. If you guys want to add any specific reports to any of these calendared items, that's fine. If there's any on here that you say, hey, we really don't need those anymore, tell us that. But you still have the opportunity to always add additional requests. And we can schedule them in as needed, or if you have a specific time frame you want to do it. I can always give the example, we used to always have the Halloween report used to be in October, right? Well, when we got rid of the October meeting, we didn't need that. We had it in September, but what we noted was that if we had it in September and the commission supplied us with some info of changes, the planning was already too far along that we couldn't make those changes. So that's why we offer the Halloween one in August. So we have to do some of that because you can't go, hey, change 4th of July on the 2nd of July. It doesn't work. So just a hint on how we're going, but these are the plans we have currently. But last time, again, you're always welcome to add things to it, and we can bring back other reports.
Thank you. So do we have a motion to approve the proposed meeting schedule?
Will we have discussion?
You can have discussion.
So, my question has to do with, well, first of all, if we could add maybe some sort of report back or maybe start thinking about doing a continuous, having continuous communication with, or regarding safety at the park. Maybe, I don't know if there's a particular time that makes sense in the year to do that. I know that we couldn't have it last time because we didn't have quorum, but I still feel like it would be something interesting to really get a gauge on what safety looks like, how we can improve it, and maybe invite community members to chime in on that as well.
So you would like, let me make sure I get your request, you would like a public safety thing from our police department.
Or even, I guess so, I mean, are they still the ones in charge of the park rangers, or would that be?
We share that responsibility between Glenn's staff and the PD. They do the training, they help us throughout the process. So it's an integral part of our overall operation. But in the past, as you've mentioned, we have had the police department here. They do presentations, they talk to us about safety and other things going on in the park, and that's a perfectly fine addition. I would tell you that would go somewhere into February or April as we look at it before we hit the busy summer season and other things would happen. So if the commission would like something like that, I would probably look, because the group has a lot of things happening itself in March, that we may add it to the April one. Anna, add that to the April one, and then what we'll do is, as we get to that point, we will contact the police department and ask them to send representatives to report on the safety issues.
That would be great, because I think it also gives us an opportunity to maybe even have a discussion with because I know that some of the services have been provided by an outside company as well. So I'm curious to see how that's going. I did see them patrolling around the park. So I'm curious. I know people haven't been as nice to them from experience this past weekend at the SJA event. But I know, I'm just curious how that's going as well. And also with the Parks and Recreation Master Plan Annual Review, I know we had a discussion earlier about that, and I understand that you know, we are having just trouble with having that done earlier. But I also wanted to ask and make sure, you know, what we can do to help advocate for the department. You know, I'm very active at the council meetings, and so I know that, you know, whether it's a staffing issue, like I've talked to you before, whether it's a staffing issue, whether it's, like you said, maybe a new position, maybe something that we can speak to our counselors about really pushing for. I think, you know, that's definitely something I would be doing, bringing up at the council meeting, you know, having, getting that support for the department to not miss out on a lot of the public funding that I see go to other cities that I feel don't really need it as much as we do. And especially with you know, some of these projects that are coming in, I feel like there is a lot of potential, and we definitely don't want to be missing out on any of that. And you know, at the same time, we want to continue the work that is being done by our department, because it is really good and it is really appreciated by the city, as we can see from a lot of the participants.
So what I'm hearing there is you're okay with what it is here, but you would like to emphasize the park master plan sometime again too.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, the commission can open this one, because it is that type of item, so, but let's get the other two comments in and then we'll go to. Okay.
Secretary Pulaski?
Yeah, regarding the master plan, I haven't, since I've been here, I haven't been part of that, or I'm not familiar with it. So I think it would be a good idea to visit that and be able to discuss what, the next few years look like for the city in terms of, opportunities with parks and open spaces. I would say, if possible, and I know that my colleague mentioned the staffing issues, but I mean, it seems like July or September, there's a few items. I mean, would it be possible to move that up on the schedule and address that maybe in either July? I know August looks like it's pretty busy, but July and September look like we're not really covering much. Is that a possibility?
If you would like, or if the commission agrees, we can, let's see, we could easily move it into July. And basically, the Parks and Recreation Master Plan report is one where we tell you what we have done for the previous year. Okay, just to give a quick update on the whole process a little. Every 5 years, the Parks and Recreation Department updates the Park Master Plan. We started in 2008, 2013, we did an update, 2018, see if I can get the math right, we did an update. We were scheduled to do an update in 2023. Most master plans only sit on the shelf 15 to 20 years, okay? And then you kind of redo them. When we brought this up to council, council asked us to do a new master plan, a full-blown one, for the overall Parks and Recreation Department. We have not only a master plan that we started in 2008, and we have been very diligent in updating it, but we have that. We have some park-specific master plans for Hollydale Regional, Circle Park, Hollydale Community. As you guys are aware, that 2 of those are getting ready, or either in process of getting renovated or in process of finishing renovations. Those are there. So council wants a brand new one. They gave the funding for this year, but currently, because of my own personal situation, now with my deputy director being gone for a while, we just haven't had the capacity to move forward on it. I will not get back a deputy director until probably August of this year. And so we're not expecting to move forward with that plan until almost November, December at best. All right? All depends on the other workloads that go with it. And so that's where we're at on the master plan. But if you want to ask him to move that from December to July, we can do that without a problem. That's up to you guys. That's up to the will of the commission.
I think that would be good. If July works, then I think I would be in favor of that. My colleagues, yeah. So would that have to be a motion to move it up to?
When you approve this plan, you would make that as part of the motion.
Any public comments?
All right, look, I've been chasing.
Hold on, Mario.
Yes. State your name, please.
Mario Dominguez Jr., resident of Southgate. Look, I've been chasing after this fucking thing since November 2022. And Mr. Costi stated to me that in February, after he's done with the centennial celebration, he was going to take a crack at it. I checked with him in February, nothing happened. No, it's still too busy. So the whole year went by, 2023. I've been chasing after this fucking thing. Nothing came of it. So I spoke this morning with Ms. Elguera, our Director of Community Development, and she explained to me, when you take on one of these master plans, the process is between 6 months to a year. So if you guys are barely going to address it in December, you guys are going to be able to get deep into this. The city isn't going to be able to get deep into this until well into 2025. I mean, what is that? I'm going to miss out all of 2024? As you three know, I'm chasing after projects that I want us to have and pursue. I want to get them included on the Parks Master Plan. We're already in May. I mean, how much longer are you going to drag this out? Why belabor this? And as for Mr. Cossey being short on staff, look, I'm sorry, Mr. Cossey, I hate to dump this on you, but if you were resilient enough to survive the madness of last year, I think you're more than capable of taking on the Parks Master Plan. And as we all know, the month of December is crazy time for Mr. Costley. Things go bonkers for him with the amount of work that he has to undertake. And this is not my problem. This is City Hall's problem. This is City Manager's problem. This is City Council members' problem. This is the HR experts' problem. They need to figure out how they're going to find the staff that Mr. Costley needs in order to do this work. And if it means that you guys have to take general fund money to pay temporary workers to assist Mr. Costley to take on this project, then so be it. I'm perfectly fine with spending general fund money in order for us to do the Parks Master Plan. And the thing that Commissioner Ruiz was mentioning to me about a community garden, this is your opportunity. You can put this on that Parks Master Plan and have the city make it a priority to do a community garden. So I'm urging the commissioners to please bump up the schedule for the Parks Master Plan. Let's get it done in July, and let's move forward on this. I mean, do you really want to lose another year to get this thing done? Please, let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, we'll close that. Okay, so we have a couple of things. So do we have a motion to approve with a few changes, suggested changes? If you have those noted, Mr. Costley, or do you need them spelled out now?
Sorry. For whoever would make the motion would be that you approve the calendar with the change of moving the reports on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan to July of this year instead of December. And that would be the motion that would be made at this time.
What about the other suggestions by Vice Chair Ruiz about adding a safety?
Yes, that would be made too. Thank you.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and
So I'll motion to approve with both changes to the security, session added to April, and also the Park Master Plan in July.
I do because I have wishful thinking, but I'm still concerned about the capacity of the department to fulfill that. But if you say you can, then
Well, what this would do is allow us to bring that up in the July meeting and start moving forward with recommendations from the commission. At this item does not contain our capacity for it. This is just a schedule
just
of
go
commission items at this time.
ahead. Got it.
If that's something you would like to discuss as part of your director's report, we can do that.
Got it. I second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, everyone. At this time, we'll move on to the director's report.
I'm actually going to let Nikki start on this.
Okay, so our upcoming events, we have our Spring Fit 5K scheduled for this Saturday. We have 950 runners, and we typically get about 50 same-day registration. Okay. So we are looking at 1,000 runners to be here this Saturday. As I mentioned in our previous commission meeting, we do have our competitive wave, that's at 8 a.m., and our recreational wave at 9 a.m. Party starts at 6 a.m. Staff will be there early setting up the course. You guys were all invited. We hope to see you there this Saturday. Our all-staff department training will be taking place on May 15th. Our recitals for our spring quarter will be taking place May 21st through the 23rd. Our Memorial Day event will be on May 25th at the Fountain. Our summer registration opens up June 3rd. Concerts in the park are scheduled for every Friday in July. We have finalized our lineup. We're going to have a group, Corazon de Maná, which is a Maná cover band. Los del Momento, it's like a trio. We're going to have Grupo Neblina. They do more cumbias and upbeats, get everyone dancing. And then we're going to end it with the Mariachi Divas. New this year, we will be having food trucks and a beer garden at every event. Last year, we only had it at our last one, but it will be scheduled for every concert. And we are also going to operate our Rec on the Run, which is our mobile recreation program. I know it's still at Southgate Park, but we wanted to bring out our mobile recreation unit so that the kids can also enjoy while the parents get to kind of sit back and relax and enjoy the music. Our fun run is scheduled for July 20th. And new this year, we will be hosting a family camp night on August 3rd. So that's going to be an overnight experience that families can sign up for. We will be providing breakfast and dinner for the families. We're looking at $25 per family, and it's going to take place on our large quad. So that's going to be our new event. And then our movies in the park is every Friday in August. We have our movies chosen as well. We're going to start off with Kung Fu Panda, Haunted Mansion, Trolls, Wonka, and end with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In collaboration with our Cultural Arts Division, they will be out at every concert and movie offering art activities that correlate with the music and the movie. So themed activities as well.
Good evening, Commissioners. As you heard from Nikki's report, we are coming into the busiest time of the year. And so Parks Division staff are going to be very, very busy supporting their events. So that's why I really don't have much to report. Thank you.
All right, my report starts with opening day for the JA baseball season. I think all the commissioners were there. One was missing. We had a beautiful day. It was a great event. The president of the Junior Athletic Association, who also serves as our mayor, Gil Hurtado, has announced that this would be his last opening day after 30 years. And so he received a lot of acclamations from not only the crowd, but from dignitaries, the governor, and others, congresswomen. So had a lot of that going on. We had a parade of about 400 or 500 athletes come through. We had a good day overall. They got to experience our brand new baseball field. We have added new fencing around it, new backstops, new dugouts, totally new grass infield and mound. So part of this is construction. Part of it was to staff rebuilt the infield. It looks great. Just so you know, it's the best infield we've had in the 35 years I've been here. So looks really good. Stuff. With that, we also are still in process of our fence project. It has taken longer than expected, but that is because Mother Nature has not been kind to us. It literally rained last weekend too. I don't know what.
I don't know where.
Every time we turn around, it's raining, but they completed Diamond 1 in time. We were also able on that Thursday before opening day to allow the Southgate High School seniors on the baseball team to get recognized on the diamond. And so they were able to use the new diamond for their last game of the season. They're currently working on Diamond 4 and we'll have that done by Monday. And then they will start working on Diamonds 2 and 3. I do not expect the overall process to be completed until middle of June, maybe a little later, all depending on weather and other things. But it looks much better. Let me tell you, if you've gone out there, the fencing on the small quads, fencing on the large quad looks great to start. We're waiting for the final product, but I think my initial reaction was the tennis courts. If you pull up to parking lot 10 and you see the big green tennis courts, they look so much better. And it just helps the overall look of the park, I think. So
Yeah, sure.
we're still working on it. It's going to take a little while, but it's doing good. Next, one of the things I want to talk about is our senior ball. Happened last weekend in the City of Commerce. What this is about 6-7 years ago, the City of Southgate talked all the different cities in the CELA area into
getting together and having a senior ball for all the cities all together. When the first one took place at Southgate Park in the auditorium, where we brought over 450 seniors from 8 different cities together to have a prom, a ball all together. They had the best time. You know, at first it was like 8 different little groups of seniors. By the end of the day, they were dancing with each other all over the place. So it's gone on for 5 years. We skipped a couple, obviously, for COVID. But last year, the overall event was recognized by the state of California's Parks and Recreation Society as their award winner for best program involving all the seniors together. And so they got an award. And on the 23rd, the group that put it on, which means all of my staff, plus all the staff from one of the different cities, will be in the city of Paramount, where they will receive recognition for all the work they did. So we had another very successful event, and we had 500, you said?
It was 50 participants from each city, and there are 12 cities. Yeah, so.
So that's 600. And our biggest problem lately has been finding a place big enough. We moved to the Commerce Casino. It started in Southgate Park because we could hold 500 or 600 or 700. Moved to Paramount, they couldn't hold it. Everyone else is like, we can only hold 200 or 300. Finally, they settled on the Commerce Casino. We've talked to, what's the stadium in Carson?
Dignity Health Center.
Yeah, over there, about possibly, we're getting big. In other cities and other areas are calling us and, hey, how do you do this? So just wanted to recognize staff at Southgate helped start the program. We're instrumental in it, and we got a great award for that. Other thing is, we have air conditioning at the sports center. Luckily, we were able to get it in. I know it's been hot in there already, but we did not have to make it to the real hot seat. It hasn't been hot outside yet.
Right.
And new air conditioning's in. It's not permanent. This is the temporary fix for the chiller, but it works. And so when you walk in the doors, it's nice and cool. James turns on the heater. We don't know why, but he does. But it's all there, so really good for us. So that's all I have for now.
All right, thank you. Any comments? Sure. Vice Chair.
No, I guess I'll see you this weekend at the Spring Fit. But we only show up for designated runs, right?
So we invite everyone to show up at 6 a.m. That's when the music's going to start. That's when our party starts. We are going to have our vendor fair, so you can visit the various vendors that we'll have available. We do have the children's play area, which is going to have inflatables and jumpers and things of that sort. So there are other things to do prior to the run itself. But if you can complete the 5K in 30 minutes or under, we recommend the competitive wave. If you're over the 30 minutes, then it would be the recreational wave.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing that one. I'm bringing my baby on the strollers.
And we do accept strollers. So yes, 9 a.m.
Awesome.
I just have a question regarding the senior ball. I had no idea that took place.
I know.
I'm curious to know how many of the, I think you said just under 500 people, or what was the attendance? Oh, just under 600. Do you happen to know how many of those were Southgate residents?
50.
50 of them, huh?
Yeah, each city's allowed to take 50.
Ah, okay. So okay. Yeah. But we don't have the capacity for it, huh? So the Dignity, what's their capacity? Just the... what's the number we're trying to hit? Are we trying to hit like 1,000, or is there like a number that we're trying to
Well,
go?
part of the problem with it is as you get more and more cities, it becomes a larger project overall. And then we got to talk to them. Would they be willing to go outside? You know, they are seniors, different times. Is the weather good? It rained all this year, you know. How do you go on it? So the committee is debating whether they ask an outside group like Dignity, can we go outside? Or finding out if there's somewhere interior that is bigger than can hold. But there's not a whole lot of places that could hold 600 seated for dining plus a giant dance floor and activity areas. We take pictures, we do all sorts of stuff in here. There's a ton of stuff going on, and there's just not the room, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I'm happy that this is something that the city's getting recognized for. I mean, it's good that, put Southgate on the map for sure. And again, I had no idea it happened. So how does that information sort of get spread out to the community regarding the senior bar? Is that something
Well,
that's...
we put it out through our seniors. We do not over advertise it because we're only allowed 50. So you don't go, hey, everyone come over, only 50 to get it, because we already have a waiting list. We have those who want to go. So you don't tell everyone, sorry, but, we might tell them we've had it, but you don't tell everyone because we're only going to this point, the other 50 who want to go but can't.
And how are the 50 chosen?
First come, first serve.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, that's good. I'm happy to hear that, and congratulations on the recognition, and just keep up the good work.
Thank you. I just have one comment for myself. I noticed the bands that all played on Friday nights are all Spanish bands. Spanish language bands. Is there any reason why they're all Spanish bands? Why not open it up to, say, a yacht rock type band where they play different type of music? I'm very partial to yacht rock, and so I mean it's pretty fun. So I mean maybe next time, it's set now, but having 4 weeks of just Spanish doesn't really open up to everybody.
Absolutely, and you and I share that same sentiment. Since I've been here, honestly, typically it was mariachi every week. So my idea with this was, and they have offered, like a cover band and things of that sort to kind of, like you said, satisfy everyone. But the turnout for those concerts, just the numbers were not there. So I think that's the reason to kind of stay in the Spanish realm. So the idea this time around was, okay, to kind of stray away from just mariachi every week and offer the different variety of Spanish. Obviously, Maná is incredible. So we're expecting a big crowd for that one. So this year is a little bit different, but yes, we would like to open it up to other realms of music as well.
Okay, thank you. That's my only comment.
If I can add something to that, I've seen mariachi bands that play or cover English songs. Is it possible maybe to reach out and ask them? Either of the bands that are going to be there, can you guys cover maybe an English song or something like that? I mean, I know that the mariachi divas are talented and they might be able to do something like that, but that would be interesting. Include Alan's suggestion to have an English language song, but in mariachi style, or perhaps the trio that's going to play. So just an idea.
Yes, and this will be my first time with Los del Momento, the trio, and I believe they do cover some English as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Costa, that covered the Parks and Rec Commission subcommittee reports too? Okay, thank you. Okay, so at this time then we'll have to prove it there. It's your report. Okay, so do we have any requests for any items on future agendas? Okay, then at this time, do we have a motion to adjourn?
A motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.